Yeah.
I go on and on. So
No, it's beautiful.
I'm interested to hear what you thought.
Well, I guess I'll try to bring two threads together. One is, as you talk about nationalism, what I hear in that is autonomous, like communities getting autonomy for themselves and
Sure.
like self-determination.
Yeah.
Um, and I admire. I don't know a ton about it, but I admire the model coming out of Operation Jackson.
Okay.
And I know that Kali, who was on the closing panel, talked about he likes to think about the worst case scenario.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I appreciate that because it's grounding to actually think about that. And so it seems to me like their effort, which is, they have sort of a three-pronged attack of let's elect people that are who deeply share our politics into public office. Let's gain control of land and enterprises so that we can operate our own economy through cooperative black-owned enterprises in this case, in a majority black community. And then, I'm forgetting the third. I apologize, but do you know?
Was it cooperative economics or businesses, or did you already mention that?
Yeah, maybe I'm conflating two of those pieces.
Because I think there was the politics, there was the.
Yeah. But so it seems to me that their approach is sort of worst case scenario is like if the state collapses, or maybe best case scenario too is like we can be completely autonomous. We will be practicing self-governance and build an economy where we can support ourselves and meet our own needs without any outside inputs. And I think that's necessary to go after it. But also in the short term, he mentioned we live within a police state where the right controls so many forces to take land back or to take enterprises back or take power back out of our hands through violent force, that we need to. I shouldn't say we, but those folks are also operating within the system as it currently exists, and so trying to elect politicians so that they have some legitimacy in the eyes of the corporate state, to hold on to the things that they're taking control of. Because the other thing, I don't know a ton about the landless workers movement in Brazil, but I think that's another cool model to look at. And the Zapatistas also, but they used violence at one point to gain their autonomy, and so so that's one thing that I'm thinking about. The other thing is, my friend Timothy and I were chatting last night, and he's really grounded in the realities of climate change, and has been working for trying to shift the energy system and get our utilities within community cooperative control. And he sees that we basically have like a few months, if a year, at the current state of the market before the solar economy gets taken over by large corporations. And so he sees a short window where we can insert a bunch of solar co-ops so that the wealth that is created by solar can be distributed to our communities. And he also sees just the deadline of climate change is happening rapidly, and so what he said to me is he was like, I really appreciate the radical thinking of like let's kind of step out of the traditional system and forget even finance if we can, let's not even talk about the dollar. But he said unless we are rapidly building the kind of solidarity you were talking about, where people give each other rides and give each other homes.
Yeah, exactly.
Unless we rapidly do that, a lot of people are going to hurt in the transition. If we don't use the current financial system, the current electoral system, or whatever, to make changes, if we choose to step out of that, his opinion is he doesn't think that the change is going to happen rapidly enough to prevent the kind of mass destruction that. And so I don't know. I mean, I think that both are possibilities, like both pathways. But I appreciated what Kali was saying. It's almost like a two-part approach. Like, let's see the worst case scenario and account for that, but also always be looking towards the ideal of we want to be completely autonomous.